In name of Allah, gracious, merciful. Hello, greetings. This is Muhammad Suleiman Ahmadzai with a new session for you, friends. After that, we saw that we have the screen view, and we can set how much the screen should be zoomed in. It is clear that in every program, the screen zoom is set to 100%. If we want it more or less than that, we can do it from here. We click, for example, to zoom in, or we can zoom out from here as well. You can also set the zoom level here by clicking and entering the value. We press enter. It directly sets it to 100. There's another method too, which we'll cover later. We can also work from here in this panel. Here, when we click, we had something here called instruction. In the instruction section, when we go there, in the previous lesson, we learned about zooming in and zooming out. It also had its own shortcuts. If we want to use these shortcuts to zoom in or zoom out from the keyboard, or to move the page, we can come here to the instruction control section and get information from there. For example, it gives us information about which shortcuts to use. Moving and some of this information has been added for us. So when we do this, we come to this instruction control section. It gives us information, like if you're using a mouse, you can perform these 3 actions in this way. If you want to zoom, you can move the wheel on this bar. When we scroll the mouse wheel, we see that it zooms in and out. Also, if you hold down the Alt key and left click, you can move the canvas. Move the canvas around. So, for example, when I hold down the Alt key. When I hold down the Alt key and left click, what can I do with the canvas? I can move it. I can pan it. That's how this movement works. Pan means moving the canvas itself. Again, there's something called pan. That means if we just click above this bar without holding Alt, we can still do this. Now, even without holding Alt, I can move these around. But we clicked right on the bar itself. We clicked right on the mouse wheel. So we can perform these 2 functions, either by holding Alt and clicking, or by clicking above the bar and dragging the bar itself. Both will do the same job. Secondly, for example, if our computer is a touchscreen, if we want to work with a pad, or use the touchscreen, or use the touchpad on our keyboard. If we want to move this, for example, we can use Alt with a click to do it. For example, we hold down Alt. We can then move this with the pad like this. Secondly, they said you can also drag with 2 fingers. And for zooming, what else did they say? That you can only do the zoom gesture inside the pad. It performs the zoom function. They also said if you have a pen. Computers that have a pen are touch screen. For example, they have a stylus. On those, you can only use Alt with the pen button. When you hold Alt and drag with the pen, it moves in any direction. If we want to work with the keyboard, the thing I wanted to mention earlier over there is what these shortcuts are. Every time, it's been a keyboard shortcut. Again, we can use the keyboard section, that's the last part. For example, if we want to move this canvas, we hold Alt and use the arrow keys. When we hold Alt and use the arrow keys, what happens to our canvas? It moves. And if we're tired, we can do the zoom work as well. What is the zoom shortcut? We learned it in previous programs. Control plus, Control minus, Windows key plus and minus, if it worked. What does it do here? Here, the shortcut is page up, page down. Page up, page down. Page up zooms in. Page down zooms out. And whenever we press the home key, what does the home key do? The home key resets it for us. It brings the page back to its original size, just as it is. We can also do this reset from here. Reset view. When we've zoomed in, without having to stop and right or click on home, we can just reset it. So here we had the shortcuts for mouse, touch keyboard, pen, or keyboard, which allowed us to do all the related tasks. We already worked with 3D view before, so whenever we have a 3D object, we can use this as well. With a right click of the mouse, we can see different samples of our 3D object. If we turn this off, it will display in 2D mode. We already worked on the zoom section. Here, when you click on this menu, we have several buttons. We have undo, redo, and paste. For example, we go somewhere and copy something, or we copy and take a screenshot, then paste it. For instance, I took a screenshot. When we come into the pink program, as we did before, it gets pasted from there. We can also paste it from here. It will paste this page for us. We have a button like undo and a button like redo, which moves us forward one step or brings us back one step. We could have done the same thing from here as well. When we right-click, we also have undo, redo, and a paste button. And there's the canvas option, which is an option related to when you click. This option opens up for you. This is the section code that we worked on earlier. The reset controls resets the page. The take screenshot at the end is for taking a screenshot. This is the page, not the whole program, because for the whole program we use the print screen button or other methods we learned before to take a screenshot that way. It's just this part of the code's area. When I want to take a screenshot, I tell it to take a single screenshot. This is the same on desktop. Save it for me. It doesn't have a name. Okay, these are saved. It's called screenshot. You see, it doesn't take a screenshot of the whole program. It only takes a screenshot of the canvas. For example, if I did this and then did something else, like if I used the print screen method, that would be different again. Print screen gives you a screenshot of the entire program. So here, when we right-click, that's what this thing does. It's the property menu. We also have the property menu in the toolbar, right here in these topics. We have undo, redo, paste options, and the buttons we had before. So, the function of paste, undo, and redo is to neutralize actions. We have things like Ctrl+C, Ctrl+Y, and other shortcuts that basically do the same tasks. Almost like a timeline. When I go into the history, I try to see the progress over time. It shows all the actions we've done today, meaning it basically tracks the undo history. So if we move forward and redo a step, you can even record these actions we've done, even for a specific video. It's limited to just this procedure for us, or it can show a video for a specific process, a big moment of fame. We need to enable it here. Start recording means whenever we want to. All this history, or all the actions we want to perform, will be turned into a video for us, and in the end, we can export it. And again, what else can we do? We can turn on start recording, if it tells me that I am on this page. For example, I came and drew a shape. Then, the most famous example. We were able to, for instance, move the page. Pressed Ctrl+V, for example, we copied it. Then, for example, we came and drew a 3D shape. All the operations that we have evidence of, we record from the moment they start recording onward. For example, here I drew an object, and then we drew another object. We move on, we copy and paste. It became two objects, here it is. Recording effect. And the things we did here, we have evidence for. For example, here we rotated it. Then we flipped it. Now, export this for us as a unique history, but as a video, so when we replay it, it shows exactly what we did. It shows the video step by step, and it opens in the media player, while we could also see each step right here ourselves. We did a lot of work. So, the detailed tasks we have here, there were 4 buttons here and a few buttons over here. After this button, which we have evidence of here, the mixed reality section, one of its good features is that if you want, you can click on it whenever you like. Try it. The camera will also activate. I myself see it step by step on the interface, and there are some other options as well. For example, you can create photos and drawings. It mixes these two together. Mixed reality means it combines your own photo with a 3D image. But for now, just so we could set up a layout page, we worked with the canvas, and from the editing toolbar, we also used another part. Since these lessons are about features that, in other programs, are found in the status bar, we worked with their own tools, using the menu related to that, and the menu commonly known as the properties menu. But we'll cover the main lessons themselves in another video, which is about the video interface.
The lessons shouldn't get mixed up, and finally, I kindly ask you, dear friends, if you found the videos helpful, please like them to support us and help the channel grow. Subscribe to the channel, and hopefully, see you in the next sessions. Goodbye.